One of the most commonly asked questions that we get on a regular basis is going to be, what are your must-haves in order to start a project, or what we're going to have in order to have our Showland project? Now, there's several different items out there that a person can accumulate in order to get started in the project, but these are just going to be a few things we'll discuss here. First and foremost, you're going to have to start off with a stand. If you can see here, we have a stand provided, we have one available. You're going to want a stand that is feasible, easy to use, and this is what we go to first if you're going to have something to go with. Secondly, you're going to want a blower. If you're going to wash those sheep or try to blow dry those sheep, in order to get the perfect effect in terms of getting that leg or that wool dry, you're going to have a blower to start with. In terms of washing a sheep, you talk about the degreasing shampoo. One shampoo that we think is a must-have in order to get the lanolin and all the grease and dirt cut out of their skin, away from their skin and wool, so that it may be easier for you to shear and get a smooth, clean cut whenever you're clipping that particular sheep. When we talk about must-haves as well, we want to have some form of conditioner. We're going to want a conditioning cream. When you talk about leg wool and preserving it, which has become a very important aspect in today's industry, you're going to want to have this conditioning cream available to help with that leg wool and help preserve what's there, and then keep from ripping a bunch of it out with a slicker brush. Show day preparation, one of our must-haves is going to be your Pro Polish. If you're going to want to have that sheep handle firm and handle slick and smooth, you're going to still want to have something that is going to make them handle in the best way possible for that judge to appreciate them. Pro Polish is our topical spray which is a go-to for us. When we go back to talking about the leg wool and keeping it, as far as being able to go through there with a slicker brush and not rip any wool and hair out, the Pro Pink is another one that we think is a must-have in that show box. This is the easy method in terms of blowing it in with a blow dryer and then being able to card through it with that slicker brush and preserve as much of that leg wool as possible while still giving it that pop and that show ring look. We talk about the slicker brush and using the Pro Pink. Like we talked about, you've got to have this slicker brush in order to comb through that. You do not want to be using any other form of brush that might potentially damage that leg wool and that shag, so you're going to want to have something that is usable, and I think the slicker brush is a must-have. The pocket brush is one that we think is very important. Once you apply some of the topical sprays such as the Pro Polish, you're going to want something to brush it in. So you can take this pocket brush, it's going to get you an even swath on those sheep and cover some area by still not being too abrasive with the way the bristles are designed on this. It's going to be still feasible to use without hurting them. You start talking about at home or even at show use, you're going to want to have a halter on hand. What our must-have halter is going to be the nylon halter with the built-in chain. Again, something you're going to have to, get these sheep halter broke and have them where you have a way of accessing them from the show ring or to the trailer or whatever around the house. You're going to want this nylon halter with the chain. Form a blanket, whether you're going to use a Pro Cool or a Cordura blanket, you're going to want to have a blanket on hand. Once you get those sheep cleaned up and ready for a show, you're going to have something that is going to keep them clean, to keep their hides right and keep them clean and fresh for the show. So you're going to we require that you do have a blanket. When you start talking about preparation on these sheep, the last thing that people look at in terms of a preparation standpoint is going to be a clipper. We prefer the Lister Legend. I think this is the most feasible clipper. It's the easiest to use. And when you start talking about blades in general, you're going to want a set of blades. Preferably starting out, you start with some fines, are the easiest for most individuals starting out to use, and you don't have to worry about nicks and cuts by using a fine blade. So if I was just starting out showing sheep, these would be our top 12 items, or 12 items we feel like are the most essential for you to be able to start out with and get the basic jobs done in showing sheep.
Let's connect. Follow us on social and visit thewinnersbrand.com.